What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastical. My name's Anthony, and on today's video I am finally going to be making oil from sunflowers. Stay tuned. Alright, so yes, you heard me correctly. We are finally going to be making oil from the sunflower. Now, if you remember about maybe a year and some change ago, I did a video on the 5 reasons you should be growing sunflowers. If you have not seen that video, I will post it up here or down in the description somewhere so you can go back and watch it. But one of the steps I mentioned was how sunflowers are an extremely good source of fats. In nature, it's hard to find fats. All right, you can find them sometimes in animals if you are eating animals, but if you are vegan or vegetarian, it's harder to find fats. The only things that really hold fats in nature are going to be seeds and nuts, and again, those only happen in small windows throughout the year. So you have to make sure you keep whatever you may grow for as long as possible. Now, you can keep sunflower seeds and pecans, walnuts, all that in their shells for a long time, or you can take all that out of the way and just press them into an oil. Things like olive oil have been historically traded throughout history because they are so valuable, because again, fats are hard to find. Now, if you remember last year, I had Mammoth sunflowers, and at the time when I was talking about pressing oil from those seeds, I was unaware that there are 2 different types of sunflower seed. There are the snacking kind, and there are the oil kind. I was growing the snacking kind, not the oil kind, so when I went to press them, not much came out really at all. Not to mention the fact that when you're growing the snacking kind and you try to press them for oil, you actually are supposed to shell the seeds, alright? Take the hulls off. And I'm not about to sit there and take tiny little seeds apart just so I can get enough to make oil. Not doing it. So I looked around, actually got a hold of my buddy Reed over at Manifestation of Imagination. His link will be down below. And he sent me some seeds for oil sunflowers. These are black seeds, not gray and white like the snacking kind, and they are about 40% more oil than the snacking kind. And from what I see, you don't have to shell these. You can put these through the press and they will squeeze oil because the oil is in the seed and in the shell. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be taking this sunflower that I grew, and I'm going to be pulling the seeds out, weighing them to see how much we start with, and then seeing exactly how much we get at the end in oil. That way I can see the ratio of how much seed to oil we have. I can compare that to things like my last video on pecan oil, because pecan oil I believe was like 60%, and if this thing is around about the same, then hey, we got a really good comparison and we can grow either or. But if there's a humongous difference, hey, I can say, you know what, pecans are probably a better option, especially if you have the space, versus sunflowers. But again, we won't know any of this stuff until I actually get into it and start to do the process. So let's go ahead and get it done. Now, I grew this sunflower and a whole bunch of others this summer, and what I ended up doing to make sure I can keep as many seeds as possible is when the seed heads start to droop, I just go ahead and lop them off. I cut them and I hang them upside down like this. I tie them and hang them in the garage. That way I can make sure that birds are not going to come steal my freaking seeds, because they will. Alright, because these seeds are mine. They're not livestock, they're mine. So when it comes to losing any bit, I don't want that to happen. So again, I cut them and I hang them. When they get to the point where they are yellow on the back and the sides start turning brown, you know you're ready and you're good to go in terms of moisture content to go ahead and pull all the seeds for pressing. Alright, I hope you can hear me with the wind, but next you just grab a bucket and the sunflower head, and essentially we are going to scrape down like this, and the seeds will just start coming out. Okay, and that's all we're going to do, all the way around, just to get all the seeds out. Alright, so let's see our starting weight. Wow, that's it. 51 grams. So this is going to be one heck of a small batch, but this is one whole sunflower. So 51 grams come from that one sunflower. Alrighty, so we've heated for about 20 minutes now, preheated the machine, and we are going to try to see exactly how much oil we're going to get. in here out of 51 grams of sunflower seeds. So let's pour them in. Alright, so we have run through all of the sunflower seeds. This is what remains. Let's see how much oil we got. Nothing. We got absolutely nothing. So it's the exact same thing that happened last time with the snacking sunflowers. This project is a big old fail. Alright, so there you have it. Did you learn something? Because again, the thing that you just saw is exactly what happened when I tried to use snacking sunflower seeds. For some reason, the hulls act like a sponge and no oil will flow. I let that thing preheat for 20 minutes. You saw the steam coming off of it. There is no reason why the oil should not have started flowing. Upon further inspection, when I pulled apart the worm gear, the inside of the worm gear was wet with oil. So that means most likely what happened was the seeds were trying to press oil, but the hull of the seed was acting as that sponge and carrying the oil out with it. I tried to reload all that stuff back into the screw and it just jammed up the machine. So let's just put it, blatantly, this was another huge fail, and I don't want to taint the idea of using sunflowers for oil, but this is 2 times now that I have absolutely failed, and it comes down to the point where I think what we're going to have to do to be successful is we are going to have to shell every single sunflower seed, and I can tell you point blank, I am not doing that. I'm posting this video as a fail because I think people learn just as good, if not better, from watching others fail versus watching them succeed. So with my last video, I pressed out pecan oil or pecan oil and it worked out great. I've also pressed peanuts to make peanut oil. But for some reason, when I'm trying to do sunflowers, it just doesn't work. So again, the reason why I'm posting that is because we can read all we want to about how things should happen or how things should work. But in reality, things aren't like what you may read. Until you actually do it yourself and see for yourself how to actually do something, you can't count that as an option until you've actually tried it. So for me, I will not be growing sunflowers for oil anymore. I will continue growing sunflowers for snacking on seeds because I like doing it, but I will not be growing oil sunflowers anymore. There's just no point, and the work is honestly way too much. I would much rather stick with pecans or pecans because I have trees all over and they actually give a very good volume of oil. Next summer, I might actually try growing peanuts to see exactly how much peanuts I can get per area in my beds, and maybe the oil will be worth growing peanuts instead. But for the time being, pecans are actually so much better in terms of volume. There is absolutely no reason why I would try sunflowers again, point blank. But if you learned something from this video, please do me a humongous favor and give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. Subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later, okay? Bye.